Gianna Volpe Report, brought to you in part by Village Overhead Door in Southold, Victor Giannini, author of the book Counselor, International Executive Protection, Watercrest Winery, and Michael Evans, author of The Real Matrix. Well, we have a couple of guests from the heartland, from St. Louis, Missouri, Andy and John. I don't know where Gianna... Well, I know where Gianna went, but she didn't get back yet. Anyway, but let's bring on her guests, Andy and John, who apparently are going to be performing in New York City. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
So far, so good. And if my co-host comes, she just sat down in the studio.
Am I late?
She sat like she was Martin Block in the Bridge of the Make-Believe Ballroom.
I can't believe... I looked at the time and I was like, uh-oh, are we on the air?
Yes, we are. Anyway, I brought your guests on.
Oh, hi. Andy and John?
Andy and John.
And wait. Okay.
From the heartland, St. Louis.
Here too.
Yes. So the last time the Hooten Hallers were out here in New York, it was just Andy and John, but they've added players, which is so exciting. Please tell me about... So who are the Hooten Hallers nowadays?
Well, it's still the same Andy and John that you know and love, but I'm playing baritone and bass saxophone with them.
Which is awesome. I love that. I was second chair saxophone like all my life, and so I'm so excited that they have a saxophone player.
What kind of music do they play?
They play what kind of music?
I don't know anything about
play?
them, so you know, learn me.
How would you genreize the Hooten Hallers?
What pigeonhole do you guys fit into?
They don't.
It's rock and roll, but sort of heavily blues influenced.
Heck yeah, it is.
So it's more along the lines of the way rock and roll began, right? Rock and roll is originally R&B.
So where are you guys right now?
Yeah.
Last night
We are in Pennsylvania somewhere.
Oh God, that state is so long.
State College, Pennsylvania.
Oh my gosh. Driving so I used to drive between New York and Missouri all the time. And I remember coming home was always the worst. You'd hit Pennsylvania and think, you're almost home. But alas, Pennsylvania is the longest state to drive through outside of like the Southwest.
Yeah. We spent some time on the Pennsylvania Highway for sure yesterday. We'll be doing some more today on our way to New York.
So where are you playing tonight?
We're playing at Hill Country BBQ in Manhattan tonight.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sure the barbecue is nothing like it is back home. St. Louis and Kansas City have some pretty serious barbecue. So you're gonna have to get back to me with a report as to how good the barbecue really is.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in.
But at least
we'll let you know.
At least the entertainment will be great. But so the last time I saw you guys, it was at, what was that place called? Matchless? Match something? I don't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah, but it was in Brooklyn, probably.
And I remember
4 years ago, I would bet, or longer.
And the promoter ran off with their money, and I was so angry because...
Wait a minute. Wait, whoa. The promoter ran off with the money.
Yeah. Took the money and run.
This is like, so in other words, you guys didn't get the money up front.
Well, it was based on...
No.
They brought a huge crowd.
I'm just curious about this because, it's like there's a lesson in this.
Oh, yeah. Is there?
And it's their expense, but there's a lesson in this nevertheless.
Do you guys get paid up front now?
Well...
You do demand the money up front, right?
No, not often. Not at this level. That's just not a real common thing. It's also not a real common thing to, have somebody just run off with the cash.
Yeah.
Luckily.
It was ridiculous. I was so disappointed in New York that night because you guys are incredible and everyone was so excited. Like, that was that was a great show. I remember. But, I mean, you're always a great show. I wish I could be there tonight to see y'all. But that's all right. I mean, how has it been going? I mean, where are your...
Where else have you guys played?
Oh, everywhere.
In the recent past?
They were in Detroit last night.
You were? Is
Well,
Detroit...
Yeah. Tuesday night was Detroit, and, this year we've done pretty good chunk of the U.S. and Canada. Last year we were in 11 countries in Europe, so we've been getting around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Hey, let me ask you this about Detroit, because, Detroit might be the largest American city to ever go into bankruptcy protection. Just from where you guys were, what was your thought? Are they emerging from that? Have they gotten... Is it coming around, or is it still like...
I bet you there's a lot of young people.
I
bet you there's a lot of young people there right now.
What was your take on it?
The street we played on, I had played on about 10 years ago, and it was in a pretty dilapidated neighborhood, and now there's a lot of just young people walking around, and it seems like it's kind of revitalized.
Yay!
So it's like a hipster heaven, in other words.
Oh yeah.
A little bit. Not quite.
I would.
Because you mentioned you played in Brooklyn. And like there's a neighborhood called Midwood, which was not so great. But I had, off Flatbush Avenue, and for those of you who are, from the area, you know where this is. But I wouldn't expect you to. In the same breath, it is now like hipster heaven. The hipster bars, and a lot of the neighborhoods that had been, that turned and were like dilapidated and going down the tubes, are essentially, in a lot of ways, they're being revitalized by young people moving in and taking advantage of it. So that's what you're seeing in Detroit?
Just in the small area that we visited.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting to get a full report.
population
and not gentrification.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Now, the music, you said it was like blues-based rock and roll.
Yes.
So,
Johnny always sounds like George Thorogood.
is this along the lines
Nightshot.
of a B.B. King type blues or Red Prysock? I mean, we're talking early rock and roll was of course R&B.
They're like power blues.
Give me an idea.
Yeah, I'd say blues-wise, we're mostly influenced by sort of like pre-war and early electric blues. So, any of the Delta guys or
Awesome.
early Chicago stuff, Howlin Wolf and Muddy Waters and the early Chess Records sound, that's
Right
more
up
what
my
we're going
alley.
for, but
Charley
mixed with
Patton.
a little bit more of a rock and roll or punk rock almost sort of vibe.
Well, let me ask you this then. You said pre-war. I mean, there was blues pre-World
Yes,
War II?
pre-war country blues is like where it's at.
I'd never heard of that. I mean, I always thought pre-war music was primarily swing bands and show tunes and stuff like that.
No, yeah, there's also like the guys in the Jook Joints, like Charley Patton, like Robert Johnson, those guys.
Never heard of them. And I think that I'm pretty well versed in popular music.
It's not exactly popular music. I mean, it should be. It's what I prefer, but it's niche, I would say. It's actually, well, I mean, now that what's Americana is so huge, like it's having its day, which is awesome. Bruce has no idea what I'm saying.
Americana.
That's like the thing.
What, are we all singing John Philip Sousa tunes?
But I would love to see Bruce.
I'm displaying like how unhip I really am. You know that.
Well, that's okay. I mean, we play standards here. We're not exactly.
We're not
the hip
exactly like
station,
cutting edge rock and roll.
which is why we're cool.
Well, hey,
Bruce.
just you wait. I bet John Philip Sousa gets really hip in the next year.
Oh yeah.
Well, Smarty Pants.
I think he's right.
Let me throw out a few names that
No,
you
he's
hear.
being serious.
Oh, is he really?
Yes.
I'm thinking Michael Bublé. Look at how popular he is.
And Andy is he's being serious and joking at the same time. That is Andy's way.
That was a harpoon, Andy. Ouch. Ow.
But seriously, come on. I could see marching band and like march.
Oh, I can. Yeah, right.
I can totally see it coming back into style.
And this, Andy, is why Gianna Volpe does not predict future fashion trends, etc.
As if I am so the fashionista.
Oh, Should I describe what you're wearing today?
Oh, don't.
No, I'm going to.
I'm just
Gianna's dressed in a pair of cowboy boots this morning, red plaid flannel pajamas, and a green and white sweatshirt.
Oh.
She has her hair in a bun.
I do not. As if. I don't even know how to.
I'm telling you, she has her hair in a bun.
I don't know how to.
She has her hair in a bun. She has her hair.
And
remember, her
boots
last
are
name
cool.
ends in a vowel. She's good at making buns.
Cowboy boots are cool, and everybody knows
But
it.
not with PJs.
Whatever. As if I care.
Well, hey, it's a radio show. Nobody would have known.
I know. He blows up my spot all the time. I'm so so tell me again, where are you playing tonight?
We're at Hill Country Barbecue tonight.
Okay.
Or I guess the venue portion is called Hill Country Live. We've never been there before, and then Monday we'll be in Brooklyn at the Cobra Club.
Nice. Awesome. You guys got to call up Eric and say what's up. I haven't visited. I think he's down in Brooklyn as well. It's a nice area. Are you guys, are you comfortable? You have places to stay and stuff?
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to stay at the Port Authority, Gianna.
You never know.
42nd Street. They're going to stay right there at the Port Authority.
You never know
Yes,
where the Hooten Hallers. You guys, you have a Oh, and have you guys been playing with the Royal Furs?
We did a show with them. Yeah, not too long ago, late last year.
They just won an award I saw in Colorado. I was so happy to see that. Super talented guys, the Royal Furs, just like the Hooten Hallers, really brings me back. I spent 6 years in the Midwest, and John, Andy. I'm sure I've met you, Kelly, and I've seen you and I've heard you, and you're awesome. I'm not sure if we've met each other, but I remember John and Andy from the Blue Fugue, which is where we all worked, and it was the alternative bar and venue in a 3-college town in Columbia, Missouri. Great memories. We had 200 different types of beer, 300 different types of liquor, and the best music ever. And the Hooten Hallers were absolutely our house band. So I miss you guys. I love you guys. I wish I could be there tonight. We got to wrap up tonight, but thank you so much for being on the show. And I'll get this up before noon today so you can share it, and maybe it'll help. We'll see.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Of course. Bye, guys. And we'll be back next week on 1390 WRIV, your hometown station.